afternoon, everyone, and on behalf of Jeff Altabef and myself, Jim Relier, as co-chairs of the All Saints Stewardship Committee, we want to welcome you to the fourth in our series of stewardship videos, each highlighting the key people and the main activities of our church. And today we will be interviewing Colette Hebert, our wonderfully talented and enthusiastic choir director, to learn about the choir's activities and find out what makes the music program here at All Saints so special. So welcome, Colette. We are delighted, as always, to see you.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to see all of you on the video, too.
That's great. And so here are some of the questions that we wanted to ask. The first one was, we all know how vitally important our music program is here at All Saints. And we know that the COVID restrictions have made it very difficult for you to manage the choir's activities over the past year and a half. And we were wondering if you could share with us some of the challenges you have faced and the ways you've been able to meet these challenges.
Definitely. Well, as you might know, singing is one of the most dangerous things you can do during COVID. So it's definitely been a challenge. And so with having services outside and also having singers' masks and things like that, we've been able to still provide music during the service. So that's been really exciting. Early on in the pandemic, I was recording at home and then setting videos in, and then when it was safe to meet outside, then we were doing that. So there have been ways to safely sing, but it's definitely been limiting just because singing is, we can't sing the way we did before COVID.
Right. And so what ways did you figure out to cope with that?
Definitely. So we're going on, year 3 of singing with masks and distancing, and so it's been very interesting as a musician. So first rehearsing at home, obviously, I still wanted to have our weekly choir rehearsals, and our choir rehearsals ended up being like chats almost. So even when we were at home, just not being in church was really strange, and so I was still able to see the choir. So our choir rehearsals on Zoom ended up being like chats. So we would still meet every week, and for like a couple months actually we would just talk. And that was when everyone was at their houses and we weren't having services at all. So it was really nice to still connect with the choir like that. And then when it was safe to come back to church and then be outside, it was really nice and really exciting. I think I cried definitely when we were like outside singing for the first time, because that was the first time I heard singing live. Me playing the piano, I do that at home all the time, but like actually playing piano and then having singers there was really exciting, and that had been a very long time. So just having music, I think there are definitely safe ways. Obviously, with Christmas coming up, there's different ways that you can still safely sing and make music, but it's not the same right now.
Right, and I just want to commend you on your communications, because I know I'm on the email list and I get your communications all the time. They're terrific. So very good. The second question is, in a broader sense, what do you see as the role of the music program here at All Saints, both as a central part of our Sunday worship and also for us individually on a spiritual level?
Definitely. Well, I remember going to prayer services without music, and then even when I'm traveling to other churches, if I'm meeting people or traveling for music programs, just the music in general, I think totally changes the space. Obviously, it's different if you're coming to church just to pray and there isn't any music, and then the setting is totally different if there is music. So I know we're probably going to get into this in a little bit, but the music, whether it's an organ solo or an a cappella choral piece, or there are a lot of musicians, like it completely changes the mood, and so that sort of leads into how I pick the music and how I set the tone for different services too. So I'm very mindful. I know that when Father Kevin and I meet, we talk about the readings and the gospel and things like that, and how that sets the tone as well, but how the readings and the gospel are also a way that the mood is set in general.
That's great. Okay. What do you personally enjoy about being the choir director here at All Saints?
Well, it's very exciting. I was thinking about this on the way over. So I started singing in the choir, not here, but in my home church when I was 5. My piano teacher, I started with her when I was 4, and she corralled piano students to join the choir at church. And it was my church where I grew up too, so I've been in the church for a really long time, so 35 years. And so singing in the choir and also making music in the church and playing organ and piano, I started doing that when I was in high school. And so I've been doing that for the last 20 years, and I just think that it's very exciting, and also being in charge of the music in general, of what's being selected, what kind of challenging new repertoire we're doing, or also like what new groups or instruments and things like that we want to bring into the church. It's really exciting to be a part of like spearheading new ideas as well. So it's very exciting because you can always enhance what we're doing.
That's great. What are the key factors that you think will make our music program a success going forward?
Definitely. Well, it is very successful. I think that we've been able to do a lot, even during the pandemic, which has been very long. In the future, I think that it would be really exciting to continue. I know right before COVID, we had our first music workshop, and we were able to collaborate with other area churches, which is really great. And so we invited the community and parishioners from other churches as well, and it was really exciting just to teach more about the music. A lot of questions actually were about like how music is selected and like what do I do when I'm not playing the organ during church. So that was really interesting. So like people wanted to know about like what else goes on in the music department, which is a lot of it is away from the organ. So I think having workshops where people can ask questions and learn new music and bring up ideas, or if they have suggestions and things like that, is really exciting, because then I'm getting feedback from not just the congregation here, but from other people maybe who are looking at coming here, of what are they looking for in a church music-wise, and what attracts them to the church. I think having workshops like that is exciting, but I think also getting out into the community. So we just did a carol sing, and we had a few choir members who were there, and I sing as well. I wore many hats during that, but like one of the things I did was sing. And I think getting out into the community and singing and just getting people excited about, oh wow, like these sounded good, where are they from? And I know we had singers from several different area churches. So I think it's really important to meet new people that way and just get out of like the church itself.
Yeah, I think that just having participated in the workshop, I thought that was great. And I think that it really did make that connection. And we got a lot of people from the area coming in who got to know our church and got to know you. And it was just, and Chris also, but it was nice partnering with another church,
right?
And bringing those talents to bear, on the program. Mm-hmm. That was great. So, looking ahead, what events will the choir be participating in during the upcoming holiday season, and plans that you might have for 2022?
Definitely. So, Christmas is very soon. We are going to be having 2 Christmas Eve services. And the choir is going to sing, we have soloists, we have a trumpet player coming in, so that will be very exciting. Next year, I think it would be very exciting to expand the music program when it's safe. And if we can do that, like for instance, something I've wanted to start in the last 3 years since I started here was a children's choir. I think that would be great. I think that's a great way for children to be more involved in the service. Having music workshops, I think, is really important. And having more community events too.
Great. Mm-hmm. And what are the ways the All Saints music program might be enhanced if our stewardship campaign is successful and we're able to provide additional funding?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Well, we can continue to have instrumentalists come in. There are a lot of musicians and really good musicians in this area. But in order for them to come to church, I think that's really important to raise money, to have the funds to, way back when I started music directing in church, I would always hire, it was when the Syracuse Symphony actually existed. It doesn't exist anymore. But on Christmas, on Easter, I would hire a brass quintet and a string quartet, and I think things like that would be really amazing, and they would really draw people in as well. Having a trumpet player, having a violinist, and things like that is exciting, but I think having bigger groups and larger groups like that is
and
fun.
If you were to speak to some people who might be considering All Saints as a church to join, what would you, how would you reach out to them in a way just to say that they're welcome to participate in the music program, or there are ways that they can be involved?
Definitely. So I know you got my emails, so I definitely email a lot. I have a lot of musical friends, so I always am networking and getting people excited about coming here. I have invited a lot of people to join the choir for Christmas Eve, so there will be some people doing that, instrumentalists and singers. But personal outreach, I think, is really important, so just creating and forming relationships with people. I think we have a really strong music program right now, but I think we can even expand it more. But I think continuing to network, and like I mentioned before, like the community events, I think that's a great way, just by being out and singing. The other day, there were people who came up and they were asking questions and things like that. So I think that that would help draw people too.
Great. Anything else? Thank you, Colette, so much. It was wonderful to see you, and thanks for all your help and information on this video.
Thank you.